As the story is told, the Buddha to be, Siddhartha Gautama, was born in a grove of flowering trees where his mother had stopped to rest. And as soon as he was born, the infant took 4 steps in each direction, with lotus blossoms springing up at his feet. And he pointed to the sky and said, "I am the one who would bring peace and spiritual freedom to the world." And his mother then bathed her newborn at a nearby spring. Spiritual stories like this one convey spiritual truths, the way poetry speaks to the heart. In the same way, rituals, such as the one that we'll do in a few moments, allows us to communicate our shared values by embodying them symbolically. You may not identify as a Buddhist, but everyone that I've ever met here recognizes the value of wisdom. And everyone that I've met here expresses compassion in the way they live their lives. So whether you think of yourself as Buddhist or not, I see wisdom and compassion as expressions of your Buddha nature, your true original self. In my tradition, water is rich in symbolism. The quotation on today's order of service is from a discourse where the Buddha likened our goodness to drops of water filling a jug. Like the drops of water that descend more than 1,300 feet down the cliff into Yosemite Valley, the droplets of water were originally not separated, but come from one source. That wisdom and compassion that already resides in our hearts and is present all around us. So you may find your particular Buddha and your most sacred values as coming from your heart, from the infinite universe, or from that God whose name, as Reverend Sophia often reminds us, is love. When I offered incense earlier in the service, I respectfully bowed to all the bodhisattvas in the great pure ocean. All those bodhisattvas, Buddhas to be, that's you. Every time you strive to see clearly, those times you act wisely instead of impulsively, when you reach out to someone in friendship, when you go to church, when you welcome a stranger or are kind to someone, those are drops of goodness. Those drops of goodness eventually form a stream that carries us through the difficulties of our lives toward awakening. And awakening is right here and now. Symbolically, that's represented in this ritual that we'll be doing. We'll scoop up some water that's been blessed by our reverent actions and offer it to the Buddha so that it follows the path of our pure actions to return to the source, the great pure ocean at the Buddha's base. And as Suzuki Roshi said in today's reading, how very glad the water must be to come back to its original river. Reverend Sophia and I will now move down to the altar and begin the ceremony bathing the Buddha. Today we bathe the Tathagata, the one who comes from suchness. Profound wisdom and clear understanding bring happiness.
May all living beings who are overwhelmed by suffering see Buddha nature in this very world.